We are not ordinary. Unlike the majority of the skincare industry, we tell you who made your products and when to use it by so that you can get the maximum benefit from the freshest ingredients inside. Hi, my name is Katie, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm a Lush skincare expert. Now, we know that the skin's microbiome and skin barrier health is a bit of a hot topic at the moment, but we here at Lush have been formulating skincare with the microbiome in mind for over 30 years. So today I'm going to be answering some of your burning questions. Okay, so if we talk first about the structure of the skin. Our skin is made up of 3 layers. At the top, we've got the epidermis, then the dermis, then the subcutaneous layer. And we're going to be concentrating on the epidermis because we are in the cosmetics industry. So epidermis is again made up of several layers, and right at the top we've got a layer called the stratum corneum. This is made up of a mixture of dead skin cells which have travelled up to the top of the surface of the skin, ready to be shed off in due course. But these are held together by what's called a lipid matrix. This is basically fats that help make the mortar for a bricks and mortar. So this forms a physical barrier, and this is helpful both against anything from the outside that we don't want invading our bodies, so any pathogens, any potential irritants, but it also helps keep the good stuff in, so it prevents things like transepidermal water loss, keeping our skin really nice and hydrated. This is a physical barrier that we have on the surface of our skin, and a healthy skin barrier provides the right environment for a healthy skin's microbiome to thrive. Now, the microbiome is a unique community of a mixture of bacteria, funguses, yeasts, and molds that live on the surface of our skin. And we are covered in billions. So in fact, for each square centimetre of the skin, there can be around 1 million different microorganisms. This forms a kind of security system, and it works in so many different ways. It makes sure that our skin is nice and populated. So if there are any invading pathogens coming from the outside, there's literally no room for them to settle on a healthy skin. They also secrete something called antimicrobial peptides. So what this means is it is secreting materials which fight off any, again, potential invading pathogens. Our skin's microorganism keeps our skin's pH stable also. So again, creating an environment where anything from the outside will find it really difficult to colonize. So these are all reasons why we don't want to mess with the skin's microbiome. Pathogens have quite a barrier to overcome in healthy skin. Pathogens are basically any bacteria, viruses that we don't want to settle on our skin. So if that skin barrier is healthy, they're not going to cause us any problems. The only way that this can make us sick or compromise our immunity is, for example, if we're touching something and then putting our hands in our mouths or rubbing our eyes. And this is why hand washing with soap is also very important. At Lush, we are obsessed with the long-term health of your skin. And this is why for over 30 years, we have formulated skincare with the microbiome in mind. It's going to give you the effects that you are looking for from your skincare, but with minimal interference to these skin's natural functions. So the skin barrier is the uppermost layer on the surface of our skin, which plays a vital role in our skin health, in our immune system, and it also hosts the skin's microbiome. Now, having a healthy skin barrier creates the right environment for a healthy, thriving skin's microbiome. And at Lush, we formulate with this in mind. So we want to use ingredients, we want to use products that help to give you the effects that you're looking for from your skincare without interfering with this important natural function. Our skin barrier can be compromised by any number of both internal and external factors. Things like genetics, things like a change in the weather, things like allergens or stress, which I'm sure everyone watching can relate to. When we're stressed, we see it first in our skin. Essential oils can actually be amazing at helping with this holistically, but more on that later. One of the things that we are actually more in control of is how we're using cosmetics, and overdoing it with cosmetics is one of the key factors which can contribute to compromising or sensitizing our skin barrier. So an example of this might be something like over-exfoliation. Lush's stance on exfoliation is we like a physical scrub. I'm sure you've seen plenty of demonization about physical scrubs, but these are ingredients that we have evolved with over time, that our skin's microbiome understands and knows what to expect when that is introduced to our routine. There are some real key reasons why we love a physical scrub. One is that you are completely in control of how scrubby you want to go. You can feel a physical scrub when you are using it, so you're not going to get any surprises afterwards when you realize that you've overdone it in the way that you can when you use chemical exfoliants. We believe that strong chemical exfoliants are best left in the hands of experts, and we prefer to use ingredients that we know and love. At Lush, we have a scale of scrubbiness, so you can decide how scrubby you like it. If you want something that is super gentle, you can go to the lower end of the spectrum, maybe go in for something like an Angels on Bare Skin with really soft ground almonds in there, which are just gonna gently buff those dead skin cells and keep your skin really nice and glowy. Or if you're someone who really likes to feel a scrub working, you could go the other end of the spectrum. Our formulators expertly balance the ingredients that they're putting into any skincare product. So wherever you're introducing an ingredient which is going to exfoliate, like sea salt, for example, they are also sure to make sure that is balanced out by oils and butters, which are going to be putting it into the skin, anything that you're taking away. So that expertise is something that you're getting when you use a Lush skincare product. Primarily, our best advice when it comes to exfoliation and compromised skincare barrier in general is listening to your skin. There's no hard and fast rules on how often you should use something, how much you should use. You are the expert in your own skin and what feels good and right. And that changes over time. So one week you might want to exfoliate once, another week you might feel like you need to exfoliate every other day. Listen to your skin, keep checking in on whether those products are working for you. So another thing which we try to avoid where possible at Lush is the overuse of synthetic preservatives. Synthetic preservatives are biocidal, meaning that they are in a product to control and eliminate bacteria. And this is all well and good for the bacteria that we don't want around, but as we've already explored, for our skin's microbiome to be healthy and thriving, we do want to keep some of that bacteria around. So this is why we keep the levels of any synthetic preservatives at a minimum. And wherever possible, we are formulating products that don't need synthetic preservatives at all. More on that in a moment. If your skin barrier is damaged or distressed, the best thing that you can do is simplify your routine. Focus on gently cleansing and nourishing to give your skin the time to get itself back in shape. In terms of cleansing, we would recommend something that is super simple. So if you're somebody who likes a foam, I would go with something that is a very, very low foam, or ideally no foam. So something like an oil-based cleanser. I've got one right here. This is our Ultrabland. And Ultrabland is based on a cold cream. The key ingredients in here, you've got things like beeswax, which is an occlusive. It's gonna really nourish the skin. You've got almond oil in here as well, really hydrating, full of vitamin E. You've got things like rose, which are gonna really soothe and balance the skin. And you've got honey, which is antibacterial. Ultrabland is based on a really old formula from the 2nd century, and it was formulated by somebody called Galen, known as a Sarah de Galen. And it is kind of one of the oldest known skincare formulations in the world. And this is our version of it. The formula involves a water in oil emulsion. The base has got beautiful plant-based oils, so things like almond oil in there, which is full of vitamin E. You've got beeswax, which makes it really nice and rich and balmy. It's such a treat to apply. So again, especially if you've overdone it a bit on the actives and you're looking for something that is just gonna calm and soothe your skin, that beeswax is gonna give it that really protective feel. Keeping your cleansing simple with Ultrabland, you can actually do a 30-day challenge. 30 days is around the amount of time it takes for the skin cells to travel from the base layer of the epidermis right to the very surface of your skin. So that is the time it's gonna take generally to sort your skin out. If it's misbehaving, if you're waiting to see how a new cosmetics product is gonna work with your skin, giving it a good go for 30 days is generally good advice. So using nothing but Ultrabland for 30 days gives your skin that nourishing blanket, gives a chance to reset and revive. I would recommend stopping exfoliating. So if your skin barrier is compromised, you really want to lay off the exfoliation. Again, give it around 28-30 days. And then hydration is super important. So not only are you getting the hydration from a lovely oil-based cleanser, but choosing a moisturizer which is going to deliver all of those lovely, nourishing, comforting butters and oils. So something like Celestial, which is one of our most gentle moisturizers, perfect for sensitive skin. So in here, again, you've got the almond oil, so lots of vitamin E in there. You've got cocoa butter, illipi butter, which are both emollient and occlusive. So that's really gonna hydrate, protect your skin from the elements while your barrier is compromised. It's gonna give you that extra layer of protection. And you've got things like vanilla in there as well. So even just the act of putting this on your face in the morning, taking a moment to take a nice deep breath in, it feels like getting a hug. Looking out for ingredients like glycerin. Ours is a plant-based glycerin, which you can find in the majority of our skincare products. This is going to help to lock in moisture. Looking for ingredients that have been used in skincare for centuries also gives you a good indication of what ingredients our skin microbiome is used to. They've got years and years of data behind them to prove their safety, their suitability for sensitive skin. So we prefer to lean on these ingredients that we know and love rather than use the latest buzz ingredients. So some of the ingredients that I just referenced there, things like butters, plant-based oils, these are what we would refer to as old friends. They're ingredients that humans have used for centuries to take care of their skin. Our skin's microbiome is used to these ingredients. When they're introduced into a skincare routine, there's no surprises. They know what's going on, they know how to interact with these, and they can live happily side by side. If you are concerned about damage to your skin barrier, of course, seek advice from your GP. After about a month of really slimming down your routine, keeping it to the basics, you might want to gently reintroduce things like gentle exfoliants. So again, if you go into a Lush store, you will see the products arranged in a spectrum of scrubbiness. You can go for one of my favorites, Angels on Bare Skin, which is one of our most gentle exfoliants. You've got ground almonds in there. This is activated when you add water to the product. So you can see there's very, very little water in there. You mix the water in yourself, get it to the consistency that you prefer. And that's going to really gently buff away any dead skin cells without creating too much disruption to your skin's barrier and to the microbiome that we want to leave there to thrive. So the best things that you can do if your skin barrier is feeling distressed, damaged, compromised, is to really simplify your routine, bring it back to basics, look for a gentle cleanser and something that's going to nourish the skin. So look for those ingredients that you know, give your skin a chance to reset, and then slowly but surely you can start to reintroduce more products into your routine as your skin barrier builds up its resilience. If you want to use fresh ingredients which are naturally rich in things like probiotics, you really need the infrastructure set up around that to be able to deliver it, which is a huge challenge for any business, let alone a global business. But Lush has a fresh business model which enables this. So if we take, for example, our fresh face masks, I've got the Mrs. Whippy here. Our fresh face masks are made daily in our factories. We have huge walk-in fresh fridges where the fresh fruits and vegetables are picked, and these are whipped up just like a big kitchen, made fresh every day. They don't sit on a shelf, there's no warehouse time. They literally get packed straight into boxes, and those boxes are sent directly to our shops or to our website fulfillment. Once they get to a shop, every Lush shop has got a fresh fridge or a big pile of ice you might have seen when you've gone into the shop. So again, this is something that is completely unique. So this fresh business model enables us to use the freshest of ingredients, some of which, like the coconut yogurt, are naturally rich in probiotics, which can be beneficial for the skin's microbiome. So one of the other challenges involved in developing skincare that is going to support our skin's natural microbiome is the use of synthetic preservatives. So most cosmetics companies rely heavily on synthetic preservatives, whereas we at Lush prefer to create products that are either naturally self-preserving, or where we absolutely need to use synthetic preservatives, we use them in the lowest possible amount. The reason we do this is because synthetic preservatives are biocidal. This means they are literally in the product to kill any bacteria. But as we've discovered with the skin's microbiome, we've got so much naturally occurring bacteria that we want to keep there. We want to make sure that that is still part of our skin's first line of defense. These ingredients don't differentiate between the bacteria that is good, that we want to keep around, and the bacteria that is bad or that we don't want to have in our products or on our skin. So we prefer to limit our use of them wherever possible. To create products that are self-preserving is a massive business challenge. It would be so much easier to load the products with preservatives, but ultimately this does not benefit you as a customer. So we prefer to work around it with really clever formulation and painstaking efforts to get you formulas which don't rely on the use of synthetic preservatives. So to be able to create self-preserving formulas, we lean on ingredients which are naturally self-preserving. So things like honey, which we know is antibacterial, you know, you can keep it in the cupboards for a very long time. They still put shelf lives on it, but don't need to do that. Clays, which take up so much space in a product that, again, bacteria finds it very hard to get a foothold in and to live. You got things like salts, again, naturally preserving. Humans have been using salt to preserve for centuries. And some essential oils have those naturally antimicrobial and antibacterial properties too. Another way that we create products that are self-preserving is by making products which are solid and naked. So I've got a few here with me. We've got the Teetotaler. So this is a solid, completely self-preserving facial cleanser, which you use just by melting down in your hands. The warmth of your skin temperature is going to melt those oils, and you can use those oils to cleanse your skin. In solid naked products, there's no water content, and bacteria needs water to be able to survive. So we have gotten around that by creating something that is completely innovative and unique and is still going to give you the skincare effects that you're looking for. We heard from our customers that they were looking for alternatives to using products with synthetic preservatives. Mask of Magnamintide is a product that we've sold at Lush for decades, and our product formulators actually created a self-preserving version by carefully reworking the balance of the ingredients to lower the water content and to increase the volume of ingredients like glycerin, like honey, which are going to give it that self-preserving effect. So you can decide which version of Mask of Magnamintide you prefer. We've got the original formula, which has got a very small amount of synthetic preservative in there. You've still got those ingredients like clays and honey in there too. I'll show a little bit on my hand so that you can see what that looks like. So this is the original formula of Mask of Magnamintide. Now, in order to make a self-preserving version, which is as close to that original product with those effects that our customers know and love, in order to reformulate that, to create a self-preserving version, Helen, who formulated the product, increased the levels of honey and glycerin. These work as naturally occurring preservatives. What it does is it slightly changes the texture of the product. So I'm going to put a little bit on the other hand so that you can see. This is going to test my balance. I would say an added benefit is that these ingredients also make the product slightly more hydrating. So you're still going to get that exfoliation, you're still going to get that really deep cleanse, you're still going to get that refresh feeling from the beautiful peppermint in there. They smell the same, they look very similar, but if you look closely, you can see this one, you can kind of tell is a little bit more hydrating because you've got more of those moisturizing, self-preserving ingredients in there. So you can decide which one you prefer. You can try them both out in store, see which one suits you. Don't mind me, I'm just applying my Mask of Magnamintide, my self-preserving Mask of Magnamintide. We were just chatting about some interesting facts about how to read your Lush pot and what kind of information this is going to give you about the product that you're using. Now, I know more and more people want access to all of the information about what goes into their skincare products, and at Lush we have always been super transparent about what you'll find in there. We've got a picture on the side of your Lush pot, and this is actually the person who made your product. So this is Imre. These are real people. Fun fact, I am actually trained as a fresh compounder. So back in the day, I used to make the fresh masks and sell them in the shop where I was working. So there's nothing like making up a fresh batch by hand and feeling so proud of it that you're gonna put your own face on it. So cheers, Imre. On your batch sticker, you'll also see the date that the product was made. And this is really unique in the cosmetics industry. It's something that we are so proud about, we want to shout about, because we want you to know what good value you're getting, in that you're getting the freshest products that you can find on the high street. So you've got the date it was made. This one was made just a few weeks ago. And you've also got the date that you want to use it by as well. So products are best used fresh. Mask of magnanimity, self-preserving. You've got 4 months to use this from the date it was made, which is just enough to get through a pack. You know, use it on my face. I also like to use it on my body. What else can you find out from your Lush pot while you're chilling with your face mask on and having a little read of your packaging? We list our ingredients in descending order. So right at the top, you can see the ingredient with the highest percentage in the product. In this case, in the self-preserving mask of magnanimity, you've got honey, and honey is actually in this product at 25%. So that is a huge amount of beautiful Brazilian honey, which is not only supporting communities, but is supporting your skin by really hydrating. Honey is antibacterial, it's softening, soothing, and it keeps this product self-preserving as well. So you've got honey, you've got kaolin, you've got bentone gel, and that's what gives it that lovely slip that makes it so easy to apply. The ingredients that are written in green are pulled out because those are all natural ingredients. So if you're looking for a product like this one, which is more or less completely natural, you can see all of the green text on that label. Anything that's written in black is a safe synthetic. And our website is a fantastic place to go to find out more about these ingredients. So you can go on there, you can pull out a product, you can click on any ingredient. It will tell you what that ingredient is going to do for you, and will also give you a little bit of information about the sourcing of that ingredient so that you know what values are within each product. And when you're done with enjoying your product, you can clean the pot out, you can take your packaging back into your local Lush store, and you can be rewarded for having done so. So we'll turn them back into new pots, and you can get some credit to spend on your next Lush skincare routine. I think it's been about 10 minutes, so I am gonna go wash this off, and we'll get back to your questions. Essential oils. So you might have heard lots of trash talk on essential oils, but essential oils is something that we at Lush are really proud to use. They're ingredients that can be very potent and need to be used with real care and expertise. There's a lot of strict regulation about the levels of essential oils that you're permitted to use in cosmetics products. We have a body in the UK called IFRA who will tell us what percentage of essential oils we're allowed to use in a product, depending on whether it is a leave-on product or whether it's a product that will be washed off. So we're obviously operating within those guidelines. Lush has been formulating with essential oils for 30 plus years. So we feel very confident in creating products that are great for even the most sensitive skin. And we strongly believe that skincare does not have to be boring. It does not have to be fragrance-free. Essential oils bring joy into the world. We've got thousands of customer testimonials over the years from people with sensitive skin who have said that Lush skincare has been the thing that has sorted out their skincare troubles. So we feel really confident in our use of essential oils in skincare, but to provide that extra level of reassurance, last year we partnered with our non-animal testing lab, Accelerate, who we funded through the Lush Prize. And they test the products in realistic use conditions using the most advanced science. So things like human skin cells, which will give us a real indication of how that product is going to interact with our skin when we use it in real life. So we tested our products for irritancy, and every single one of our skincare products in the range, bar one, came back as either completely non-irritating or very mild potential to irritate. The only one product that stood out from this is one of our most exfoliating cleansers, which is called Bright and Beautiful. That product is formulated with 10% vitamin C, And that was really for all of you who like to feel that you've got a skincare product that's working. So other than Bright and Beautiful, you can choose from the entire range and be really reassured that that is going to be nice and gentle and it's going to work with your skin barrier. Not only do essential oils have fantastic benefits when applied topically to the skin, but we know that they are also part of a holistic approach to skincare. You will know how it changes your mood when you inhale a really good quality lavender oil. Angels on Bare Skin, we're using a gorgeous Bulgarian lavender oil in here. When you take that time, at the end of your day to mix up your Angels on Bare Skin paste, to cleanse your skin with this, to take in those moments to use skincare products that have been carefully formulated with essential oils can help the skin from the inside out as well as from the outside in. Okay, so you might have heard a lot about essential oils and skincare. We firmly believe that essential oils have got a place in skincare for even the most sensitive of skin. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope it has answered some of your questions about your skin barrier and your skin's microbiome. And if it's piqued your curiosity and you want to find out even more, you can get in touch with your local Lush shop and find out when they're running their next Meet Your Microbiome workshop, which you can join for free. Learn more about your microbiome and even make your own fresh cleanser to take home with you. We would love to know what you would like to ask an expert next, so let us know in the comments below. I've been Katie, Lush Skincare Expert. Thanks for joining.